What's up, grapplers? Welcome to another episode of the AGF Travels. We have come to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and we are at Valiant Martial Arts with Coach Josiah. And man, I'm excited to be here. We've met you at the tournaments, but we haven't gotten to see your gym. It's always awesome to walk inside and see how people function, see how the facility looks. And I go to a lot of events and gyms, but I will say I'm impressed. This is uber clean. You even sell cleaning products.
Absolutely. You got to promote that cleanliness. Absolutely.
Yes, for sure. And just coming in, I noticed you had split mats. You're able to send some over here and over there. I just really like it. I'm not just telling you that because I'm here, but you know, very clean. I saw the inside of the bathroom. It's immaculate. Different lotions and stuff for females and just males. It was really nice facility. Super nice people. Congratulations.
Hey,
You've done a good job.
Hey, I appreciate that.
For sure. Well, besides the facility, let's talk about jiu-jitsu.
Absolutely. Where do we start?
Well, let's start with your story. How'd you get started? Tell us, you know, the journey, how to begin.
Sure. So I began jiu-jitsu when I was 13 years old, when Boy Scouts weren't so cool. My dad did it when he was a kid and then found out it wasn't quite the same thing. And so he decided to stick myself and then my brother Logan and my sister Sarah into Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And so that's where we got started here. And then over the course of about 5-6 years, I began to find a love for competition and the other attributes that jiu-jitsu brought to me outside of just the grappling and the fighting. That was one of the biggest things for me that brought everything together, because when I started jiu-jitsu, I was a liar. I was lazy. I was not motivated to do anything. And honestly, I was a pretty crummy human being. My professor, Derek Cleveland, may he rest in peace, he got me started on a journey of self-improvement that has spanned over to every area of my life. And so not just on the mats in the building here, everywhere I go, I'm trying to be the best version of myself, and jiu-jitsu brought that to me. That's gonna ripple effect, brother. All 50 little kids I saw, if you're preaching that to them, man, you're gonna build an army of good people. Every single day. And so we actually have character as one of our requirements for ranking up. And so if we see a student who has great exemplary skills in jiu-jitsu, we're not going to move them forward in ranking if we see them being a bully or using inappropriate language or treating teammates poorly. Even their family members, that's important. You have to treat people kind. Yeah, as an instructor, I will get parents that come in and say, hey, this kid's not being good at home. So you'll get it off as a report sometimes from off the mats as well too. And so you guys started jiu-jitsu, keep going from there, and how did it progress? So I ranked up with my brother and sister and the rest of our team here until the end of last year. Our professor ended up having a heart attack and he was on blood thinners and had some other health complications. And so with that, we were holding on here for a couple days. I stepped back into the coaching role to help kind of hold down the fort until he got back, but that ended up not being the case. And so when he ended up passing away, we came in here and looked, and there was about 35 kids or so was the main majority of the team. And these kids, I looked at them and honestly, I saw myself. I wondered which one of those kids was the next version of me, who had problems that are going to spill over all over the place in their life if they're not addressed. And at the time, I had just called my professor about 2 hours before his heart attack and told him I had been accepted into the Spokane County Police office. And so I was going to be going for that. I was looking to be in SWAT and all kinds of things. And that was what he was grooming me for until he passed. But when I came in here and saw these kids, that was the biggest motivating factor for me to say, hey, I need to teach these guys, because if it wasn't for jiu-jitsu, I don't know who I'd be today, but I know for sure that I would not be proud of that individual. And so that's why we do this. Nice and commendable as well too. Would you say that the passing of your instructor, did it affect other people in other ways? Did a lot of people quit? Was there you know, I know it's probably difficult to talk about, but it doesn't happen very often, but I have actually heard of it happening before, you know. Was it called Valiant before? It was not. So we used to be known as Iron Lion Jiu-Jitsu Academy. Before that, we were Lion's Den, and then before even that, we were mainly known as Team Idaho. Same very building, some of the same mats in here, different layout now because we modified a few things, but we were one of the first martial art academies in the area back in the day. So this was one of the best places at the time to train MMA and do some other things back in the day with cages and all that. And then over time, it developed into more of a sport jiu-jitsu academy, focusing on tactical and jiu-jitsu as a sport being separated, so that people would have a bit of a separation on the damage and the pain and such. Okay. Yeah. So I know
when I walked in, I saw Valiant Tactical. So you were talking about kind of being a police officer possibly in these different things and separating tactical and sport. You were saying.
Absolutely.
Explain a little bit of the what the tactical Valiant Tactical sign is out there. You said you.
Sure.
A couple things.
Yeah. So I had the honor of training under Professor Derek Cleveland and police captain here in Coeur d'Alene, Jeff Walter, in the art of tactical as well, not just jiu-jitsu. And so under Professor Derek Cleveland's guidance, I learned blade fighting, empty hands, including Israeli tactical Krav Maga, and then different counter-terror firearm skills. And combined with jiu-jitsu, I found a platform that I'm just as passionate about as the actual sport jiu-jitsu itself. I absolutely love that world. Up here in Idaho, we're very pro-gun, and we like to have our Second Amendment rights uninfringed at all times. And so a lot of people have guns, and so I want to make sure that anybody who has a firearm knows how to operate it safely in the case that they need to use that firearm, Lord forbid, because no one wants to. I want to make sure they're not going to harm themselves or their family in the process of protecting themselves.
And I agree. I'm a combat veteran. I'm an OIF1 and OEF1. Enduring freedom.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome. You don't know what you're thanking me for, but no, I'm just kidding. No, but I do. I think that, especially in the states where guns are a lot more readily available, I think, it is good to educate the people, and it is another form of self-defense. And I am a big person that's pro for that, so that's really awesome. All right, have you implemented that yet? Is it like is it a special course? Is it like how does that go?
So we do them as special courses. We don't currently include them with our regular membership, although I would like to make that a thing that happens down the road here when we have enough interest. I'm going through the old curriculum sheets that were branded just to Professor Derek Cleveland, and out of respect for him, I'm rewriting them and making sure that I'm not sitting there trying to take everything that he taught me just word for word and actually grow to make sure I share what I know the best of my abilities. Some things he knew better than I do, other things I excelled in, and so I want to make sure I'm playing the strengths when I'm teaching so that I'm not trying to step into the role of my professor and say, I know this and this and this the best.
Smart guy. How old are you?
26, sir.
26?
Yes, sir.
Full gym in your hands, and you sound very articulate and intelligent. Probably why you're doing well. Wait, you do have some help. I think I've met your brother and your sister.
Yeah, unfortunately,
brothers
they're out of town and sick at the moment. So
oh, really?
They wanted to be here tonight. Really
I figured maybe it was Friday. They're like, we're going to be AGF tomorrow. We're not coming in tonight.
Yeah.
But
hopefully, we'll see their faces in there tomorrow.
If I remember, they were both coaches, right? A brother was a purple.
They are, yeah, purple and a brown.
And she was a brown.
Yes, sir.
And do they weekly? They're up in here too.
Yeah, I see their faces every single week. Logan's in here as much as he can be, and then Coach Sarah, she's actually focusing on her competition journey right now. She's going after a bunch of IBJJF titles and such. She's currently undefeated as a brown belt. She's been killing it in competition. Logan's been killing it in competition.
I watched her compete. Remember, she fought a brown belt match, I think, in Spokane. Right. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she was very aggressive. Super
is.
calm looking, pretty girl, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, she's getting after it.
It's the best thing ever, because we have this picture, and one of my favorite memories of her is a tournament where she was allowed to fight boys still at teenage level, and that was right before they changed that rule. We have a picture of her in the first place podium, and she's just sitting there cold as ice, and on either side of her there's a boy with an ice pack on their arm because they wouldn't tap to the blonde girl.
No.
It's the best picture
ever. Yeah, that should be up here for sure. Well, that's cool. So then you guys got that. Where does this leave you, if you don't mind me prying, but where does this leave you in terms of, you're a brown belt, she's a brown belt, and your instructor passed. Where does that leave you now?
So I'm the primary instructor here. Anybody else, I'm just grateful for any support I can get. Obviously, I love them, and if anyone's going to take over a class, I want it to be them, absolutely. But we're all on our different journeys here, and so we're at the place right now where we're trying to focus on all of us playing to our strengths. My biggest passion and strength in jiu-jitsu is teaching, and especially for the kids. That is what I absolutely love. I love seeing these guys grow and molding them as my professor molded me. And so, Logan, he's kind of in between the two worlds. He likes the competition and the focus on teaching, and he's amazing at both. Sarah is just an absolute beast of a competitor, and so that's where she's going. So we have a balance.
If I make the question a little more clear, what I was actually speaking of is like, how are you going to get your black belt? That's what I meant.
So
where does it leave you? That's what I meant. That's what I meant in terms of instructor passing.
So we're looking at who we're going to go under as far as an affiliation. There was another academy down the road. Great guys, love them very much over at CDA Jiu-Jitsu. They have a lot of the adults over there and stuff, and they started their own academy under Higa Machado, who Professor Derek was under. We're debating at this point if we're going to go under Higa Machado as well and stay under that lineage, or if we're going to look at something along the lines of Atos possibly. So that's what we're looking at right now.
So you guys are still in limbo, and I think when I heard one of the dads is the really change and everything's been going since February.
Yes, sir.
Is that about right?
That's about right. Yeah.
And it's, for the people watching, we're recording this in middle of August, so it's kick-ass program in a short
It's
amount
working.
of time.
Yes, sir.
You think how many? I mean, I saw yellow belts and stuff, and obviously they've been training since before February. You know, but you got a ton of other small kids in here too. So you got some from the past, and then some from the present right now.
We're about 50-50 now. So we've over doubled in size since my professor passed away, and so it's sad at the same time as also relieving to see that we're still growing. But
legacy lives on.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And his memory lives on through the teachings. And so I'm sharing what he shared with me, and that's the story of jiu-jitsu. You learn, you grow, and then you share.
Yes, for sure. Learn, you grow, and you share. I'm gonna steal that one from you.
You may.
What? There you go. And so I noticed everyone here was in black gis. Is this like given to you right away when you sign up? And
So
it's a
we do have an all black gi dress code. We don't mind if you buy our gis only. It can be any black gi. A lot of people like showy rolls and stuff, which we currently don't stock. But that is our dress code. That was our professor's dress code before us as well. And so we
that's why. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Just clean. Just clean.
Yeah. No. I mean, everyone has their style. I was actually explaining to a mom and a dad earlier that, you know, like sometimes when you go to a promotion, they make you be in a white gi at other schools. You know, you go visit here, they may make you, some schools are white, blue, or black only. Some schools are wear whatever the heck you want, you know, like, so it's cool to see everybody's. I have no opinion on it. Do what you want. It's cool to see people's style. It's just a style. That's all it is, you know, like in my opinion. It doesn't matter what you're wearing, really. It's more about the vibe of the gym and the teaching and the people getting the martial art.
Absolutely.
So you guys are in a different format here with two different mats like you were doing. Do you guys always run concurrent classes, or is it staggered at different times?
So most of our classes currently on our current schedule are at the same time with just one. But we mainly have the secondary mat as an overflow, which we end up having to use usually a couple times a week with the youth classes especially.
I like that you passed over the white belts and sent over some junior instructors.
Yes, sir. And everyone's growing, the instructors and the students both, you know?
Yes, I like that very much. And you do have some excellent students. Actually, you have the first and only, at this point, there will be more, first and only sponsored athlete competitor from AGF that's from your gym. He's a yellow belt. And I saw him compete in February when I came to Spokane. I was super impressed.
Mr. Lucas Rhodes.
Yes, I was super impressed with Lucas. And I know there's other kids here that have already nudged me trying to fight for a sponsorship. But I was very impressed with them. And he looked like he likes the arm bars.
He does. He's very, very quick with them. I think his fastest, if I'm not mistaken, was about a 6-second arm bar in tournament. So that was a guard pull directly into it before the kid knew what was happening.
And they're not, and that family has not been in the game too long, right?
They haven't actually. We're going on about a year and a half now. So they were training with our professor before he passed for a little while, but most of their journey has been continued through me. And so it's a big honor to see them continue growing, especially after their professor passed.
Yes, for sure. So like everyone teaches classes, everyone has kids into goals, but what do you think is making your kids program so successful? And as a tournament director, someone who's thousands and thousands of matches, I am impressed by your kids. I'm not just saying that like I was before, but I am impressed by the kids. What is it that you think that you're doing that's different?
Sure. So we are a family-friendly, competition-focused academy. And so we never expect any of our students to compete. It's not a requirement in the slightest, but a lot of them like to. Hence the reason we have so many guys over at your tournament tomorrow. We focus our curriculum on adapting to what we are currently having problems with. And so unlike some academies that kind of stick to a certain curriculum, we stay to an area of focus, but that area of focus constantly changes, usually on a weekly or bi-weekly notice. And so if we notice that a lot of our kids are having a hard time with a particular position as the whole, that is what we focus on, because most of the time, the majority of our students are needing that and haven't covered that in a while. And so it's always an adaptive curriculum.
Nice. And so there's no it's an adaptive curriculum. That's cool. And so you're constantly working on the faults and not just cycling through a curriculum in general. And do you have an intro program for white belts, or they toss into the regular class?
We do actually. So that's been one of our big success points as well. When we have new students come in here, we're starting something called a 42-day challenge. Some people market a very similar challenge through Academy Kings. Personally, I'm not charging a big upcharge for it because I don't feel that's the right way to go with it. We want to make sure the family-friendly pricing is an actual thing. But that curriculum in the beginning is an adaptive worksheet that changes according to what we're circling through, and also helps me to regulate what I'm working on in my classes. And so, for example, when we have new students come in, they have, in the course of 6 weeks as a goal, not a requirement, a chance to work on their escapes, their stand-up game, their bottom game, and their submissions, as well as some different positional understanding. those focuses give them at least something from most places in jiu-jitsu, so that if I have at least one thing I can coach with them, they have something to work towards. I've noticed that
the basic pillars of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, most of them quit when they have a spot they don't know what to do with. Like, what is this position? What is this submission? I've never seen it before. If they have at least a basic understanding, we can work them through that.
Nice, nice. And so this is kids and adults go through that?
It is. Yep, that's for every single white belt student that comes in here.
Nice, nice. And they get. Is there anything that happens at the end of that?
There is. So we actually have
smack on the back with a paddle. No.
Hey, I mean, we do that sometimes too.
Hey, you know, it's Friday night, guys.
That's a different story. we have a certificate we actually present them with, saying they completed something. Because in all actuality, it's hard to stick around at 6 weeks at something you suck at. Most people quit when making a new positive or negative habit in the course of about a month. And so we found just past that is when we had success if they stick around. So we have a certificate, and then we announced to the class they stuck around and succeeded at that. And then we also feel that any student who has completed that 42-day challenge is also ready for their first strike. The rest of them have no obligation on time whatsoever. It's just on their own individual skill and the category.
That's what I kind of did in the past. I would give them their stripe at that time when they went to the intro.
Sure.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's good. So they get a fundamental base. Welcomed in. They got some understanding of it. It probably helps them out a lot, and feel part of the club with everyone looking the same and all that. So I understand the vibe being here now. You know?
It's an honor to have you guys in here, by the way. Really appreciate
thank you.
It.
You know, and we want to give back to the people who support us too. You know, like you guys have been all over Pacific Northwest right now, right?
Yep.
Like
Every single one we can drive to.
You've been like Tacoma to Missoula to Tri-Cities, right? We put a bunch out, and we have more coming out now too. But they just didn't. There's certain places like Missoula where they don't open the books till August, so I can't book until August. You know, otherwise I'd have booked it 6 months ago. You know, so there's a few more coming out. But if you don't know, and this is for the people out there listening, you know, I have locations of storage facilities and trucks throughout the United States and Europe and Scandinavia.
Gotcha.
Okay, whatever tournament's closest to that truck, our guys come in, get that truck loaded, and go to that event. Right.
Sure.
Spokane is now going to be another hub. I'm going to have another storage facility. I need another crew out here. If you know people that are interested in making a living and being on a team and continuously running tournaments in the Pacific Northwest.
Sure.
But then also, like, you know, my California guys, for example, that are here, if there's a weekend when they're not running a tournament that's on the West Coast, well, we'll still fly them to St. Louis or something, or Dallas, and let them ref that weekend or work that weekend, you know. But there's the front, the tables, the weigh-ins, there's so many different positions that you can work. From a mom and pops can work it to a 13-year-old girl can work it. You know, like there's different positions, and obviously there's reffing and different stuff that's more in depth, but in ranks. But we're looking for people, so put the word out for us if you can.
I can do that.
Yeah,
absolutely can do that.
And because we'll keep them busy. It's at least every month at this point, and 2024 is going to be probably 2 a month.
Yeah, honestly, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I mentioned that more, not just because of the business aspect or anything, but we haven't gotten any traction on employees here. Like, we can't get anyone to work for us from the local area, and we're flying everyone in and spending a grip of money. But we want good local people as well too. So shifting it over and making Spokane, because we got the whole Pacific Northwest, and then I think one day as we get towards it too, we'll probably end up towards Vancouver and all that stuff will all open up, you know, get more into that area. But super beautiful area too.
Yep.
Idaho is amazing. I live in Florida, but my kid's a mountain man. He loves going to the mountains and stuff, and we went snowboarding last time I was here in Spokane. I know it's Coeur d'Alene here, but for the people that are unaware, Coeur d'Alene touches Spokane, so it's, you know, one hour from the far end of one to the far end of the other, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, babe. So it's pretty close, but so my aunt lives here. I have a daughter that lives in Missoula, you know, so I that's why I like coming to Pacific Northwest and stuff, you know, and we're coming back, and we're gonna stay steady, trying to build a team. And these events, I think that the Pacific Northwest was dying for us, because all of my events here have done great the first time. Yep. It's not like I super struggled, and then, you know, I mean, we may have had one in, like, I think Tacoma or something, might have been small or something, but the rest of them were all 6, 8 mat tournaments, 300, you know, they're good large tournaments, and they're gonna grow from there. You know, I never even heard of Tri-Cities. Right. And then my Army buddy, I invaded Iraq. Like I said earlier, he drove up from Tri-Cities and showed up to the last Spokane. Was like, you got to come down to Tri-Cities. I was like, bro, I've heard of like Quad Cities. Isn't that like You know what I mean?
Just a little bit
what
less.
is Tri-Cities, dude? It's like, it's down here, blah, blah, blah. I was like, there's not even, it's not much on the map. And then a bunch of people in Spokane were like, yeah, I would take the risk and go there. And so then we went, and it was a big success. We had to move to a bigger spot. So we're not at that college anymore. Now we're at the HAPO Center, HAPO, HAPO, whatever. So now we're at that big old place.
Honestly, congratulations to you guys, though, for continuing to grow like that. I love that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And it's trying to, like you said, you know, there were certain things that you did that you didn't want to just step into the shoes of your instructor and repeat. You wanted to excel at what you did and help that process, right?
Absolutely.
I tell people all the time, they ask me, why are you so good at tournaments? I say, because I hate them. They say, what? And I said, man, you're there all day long. You don't know when you're going. Your time keeps moving. The refs suck. Like, people generally, I feel, can leave upset as a coach, especially in a team, can leave upset from a tournament. And I didn't want that with AGF. That's why we got the beanbags, so you can challenge the refs.
You know, I was going to talk to you about those. As an instructor who, on occasion, does see a mistake on a ref call or something like that, the beanbags are absolutely genius. I wish that more tournaments did that. That is wonderful.
Wrestling's got the brick, you know, and there's some things in other sports, grappling sports too, but in other regular sports that have been figured out that I've used in AGF as well, you know. But I didn't like the reffing calls, and I didn't like the floating time. So we fixed the time problem and customer service, and you can get really blown off by other tournaments, you know. And I believe, in my partner too, we believe really big in customer service. Like, we're taking these people's money. Other events, I felt like they take your money and they're like, well, screw you. And they keep your money. You know what I mean? It's like, what? You know, so can't even move the kid's division or the guy's division. So it's been some difficult things. So I was like, man, let's fix that. Let's make it better. Let's make this a better experience and improve the sport.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think that's why the Pacific Northwest has been attracted to it. I think that they like some of those new things that we just both mentioned, and that's what's gained the traction.
Absolutely. And in this area alone, I believe in a 10-mile radius or so from our academy, there's about 10 gyms. So we are popping up all over the place. And this area, with especially such a big growth from California, a lot of people in California like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And so it's popping up all over the place up here. It's definitely a good hub to start working with.
Yeah, a lot of Californians moved here because of COVID?
We had quite a few of them, actually, and some before that. Some for, you know, political reasons, some for gun reasons. Some of them just didn't like the way things are run down there. And so it's growing like that. This is definitely a good spot for you guys to get more venues. Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Well, sounds good. I think that'll wrap it up. You want to give any last words or shout out, sponsors, anything like that? Website, IG? You know, first of all, Clinton Carr, thank you for everything you do, man. You are awesome. Okay, the guys always wanted a handout. There it is. You did a good job, buddy. But
I don't know what that was about. But
he'll know.
He'll know for sure.
It's our IT guy. He does all of our undercover tech stuff. The guy's amazing.
Oh, okay,
but,
cool.
For anybody out there who is not currently in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whether it's here at this academy or any other, do it. I promise it will change your life in ways you would not imagine, whether it's fixing your character or getting in shape, learning how to protect yourself, or just making quality friends. Jiu-Jitsu can change your life in so many ways, and anyone who's not training, do it. I promise it will be worth it.
And if you're ever in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho,
come to Valiant Jiu-Jitsu Academy.
Thank you, sir. Awesome. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll get a little follow-up footage and that kind of stuff too.
Yep,
you'll get some footage of you coaching. And
I might be a little more raspy. It's possible.
Hey, you know, well, when you can challenge a ref call, you don't have to scream at him as much. You know what I'm saying?
Once again, thank you for the beanbags.
So, yeah, shout out to you. We'll see you guys soon, and thanks for the interview.
Of course. Hey, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.